Hey, you're back, and so am I. Coming up in this episode, below my knee. Okay, all you're going to need to start to get this back seat off is a 10mm socket. I think I'm having an episode at the moment. Cuckoo. Okay, so here's the plan for next year's trip. I live here. Oh yeah, you know I'm in the food trade. I own my own business, making products for restaurants, hotels. Anyway, that aside, do you like my pointing stick? It's a spatula. All right, Mason, get on with it. Anyway, some of you may or may not know, I live down here in Dorset, southern England. My plan is to get a one-way ferry. That's the only plan I'm making. The rest of it I'm going to make up. I'm going to ride across Germany, across Belgium, across Germany, into Poland, drop into the southern corner where I have done before, and I've crossed the border from Slovakia into Ukraine. This time I'll cross from Poland into Ukraine. I'm going to drop into Moldova because I've never been. Over across the bottom edge of the coast. I wouldn't mind getting down to this part of Ukraine, but apparently it's a little bit hectic at the moment. So I'll come across the Ukraine, come into the southwestern corner of Russia, across Russia, into Kazakhstan, round the back of the Caspian Sea, down to Turkmenistan. Okay, I'm seriously considering, in fact, I think I've made my mind up. I'm going to change my hard luggage for soft luggage. The reason being, 2 years ago I thought I'd learnt my lesson. I was in Croatia on my own. I'd met up with a couple other riders. North of that we were somewhere in Austria, and I came down from Austria down to Croatia, checking out the coast and some of the inland rivers and beautiful lakes of the Piklivic area. Anyway, I did a sharp turn at real low speed, avoiding a car that was pulling out of a driveway. I'd just left a garage, fueling up, and I caught my left leg underneath my left pannier as I turned, because when you turn, that distance between the base of the pannier and the tarmac goes down very low. Anyway, that long story I was going to cut short. I broke my toe, so that was not a comfortable journey from sort of mid-Croatia back to England. It took me about 4 days. I had to change gear with the heel of my boot up and down the gears. Anyway, I'm going to show you today why I think there's a good reason for me changing from hard panniers to soft. Okay, ground space. I know from here on the side stand it looks like you've got a fair bit of room. What's that? 13, 14 inches maybe? Let me just rearrange the video camera and I'm going to show you the distance just based on my leg length, which is quite short. Look, you can see where it comes to, so that is below my knee, so you haven't got an awful lot of distance in there. When the bike is off its stand, you're going to lean it down a bit further. That gap closes up even more, and that's a damn good reason for going from hard panniers to soft, because catching your foot underneath that and breaking a toe is not fun. It could be a lot worse. Could have broken my leg and been properly stuck. Okay, so here's what I'm going to be giving up. Getting rid of the panniers does mean lockability and security, but at the end of the day I don't leave my bike alone that often, only at night. Hey, that's another story. Seriously, I don't leave the bike alone that often. When you pull up and go shopping, picking some food up for that night, it's here nor there. It's going to be fine. We shouldn't worry about those sort of things that much. So we just get these Beaumont panniers off. There's one. So first things first, just got to get the seat off. That was a bit easy. Okay, all you're going to need to start to get this back seat off is a 10mm socket on an extension bar, just because they're under the seat here. Pop that fella in. We just crack them off. Oh, cracking one off, sir. Jumpers for goalposts. Oh, woolly mammoths. There we go. 3. So as you lift it up, you just pull forward and it comes out like a bayonet lock system. So here we are again, taking bits off the bike. We're getting towards the end of my waffle for the reasons for doing it. The last thing I want to talk about is really changing my hard boom-up panniers, the metal ones, for dry bags. The systems out there are fantastic, whether it's Krieger, Lomo, SW Motec, Jivy. There are a lot to choose from. But you know, there are cheap versions that you might pay 60, 70 pounds for, but you know what they say, buy cheap, you buy twice. So I need to look at the upper end of the market, that sort of 180, maybe 300 pound mark for some dry bags. As mentioned, it could have been Krieger, it could be SW Motec, could be Jivy, could be Lomo. One of those 4 or 5 in the marketplace that have proved themselves over the years. And the reason for going dry bags is when I put my tent, my sleeping bag, in this 20 litre dry bag, use your imagination, it's obviously not in there at the moment. Alright Mason, get on with it. When I've got this on here, I may remove these sissy bars or grab rails. That'll save more weight and give me more space on the back, even though I'm using a lightweight kit. I might leave them on, I don't know yet. But for now, I'm not taking the rear pannier racks off because there's so many attachments, it'll take hours, and I've not got my dry bags yet. I've got time because I've mentioned in one of the other videos, I am going to be going on another trip. That's going to be across to Kazakhstan and hopefully Turkmenistan. That all depends on the transit visas. When I've got this on the back, of course, the dry bag, if those sissy bars are there or aren't there, it doesn't matter, because you find traditionally dry bag systems on motorcycles sit a lot higher up. So that's going to do 2 things for me. Safety, and I'm also not going to get my foot trapped underneath it and potentially break my toe like I did when I was in Croatia. Right, it's time to put this lot back together. I'm going to try, because I've never done it on the editing bit, to put it all back together whilst this is playing, which would be in slow-mo, well not slow-mo, but regular mode, and I'm going to try and speed it up, a bit like a time-lapse then. Let's see what happens.